कुमार स्वामी नाइक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
In the news tonight, TC Yasa intensifies into Category 2 system. Fijians warned of destructive winds by Friday. And second system poses no threat to Fiji.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Ulunaka, Fiji. Tropical Cyclone Yasa has this evening been upgraded to a Category 2 system, which may cause destruction over parts of Fiji by Thursday. The Fiji Meteorological Service says the system, forecast to intensify to a Category 3, may cause widespread power failures, blow away roofs and cause considerable damage to structures, especially weak structured houses. It says damaging winds can also uproot big trees and cause total damage to shallow, rooted plants and crops. Tropical Cyclone Yasa will bring continuous heavy rain and destructive winds to most parts of Fiji.
The extent of damaging and most probably destructive winds is going to affect, places like Yasa and Mamanuda, western half of Viti Levu, western half of Vanu Levu, the Lomai Viti group, and Kandavu to SE tracks southeastwards.
The system will complete making a loop later tomorrow before taking a south-southeasterly track towards Fiji. The Fiji Meteorological Service confirms the heavy rain will persist through to Saturday, and there is a risk of river flooding and flash flooding in flood-prone areas. With the ground already saturated, there is also a risk of landslides, but the real danger is the storm force winds.
The extent of damaging and most probably destructive winds is going to affect, places like Yasa and Mamanuda, western half of Viti Levu, western half of Vanu Levu, the Lomai Viti group, and Kandavu to SE tracks southeastwards.
TC Yasa is expected to have severe cyclone strength when it passes close to the west of Fiji. The system is expected to be located just to the west of Viti Levu and Kandavu with severe cyclone strength on Friday. High waves of about 3 meters are expected over Yasawa and Mamanuda waters from tomorrow. From Wednesday, expect high waves more than 5 meters over southwest Viti Levu waters, Yasawa and Mamanuda waters and Kandavu passage. These high waves pose risks of coastal flooding. Sea conditions will also be hazardous. And parts of the Northern Division experienced rainfall, heavy at times today. For more, we now cross over live to our Northern correspondent, Eleanor Turangaivu. Eleanor, can you brief us on what today was like and what the people of Vanuatu can expect?
Edwin, indeed, there was scattered rainfall around Vanuatu today. Each of the 3 provinces receiving their fair share of rain. Now, a lot of the low-lying and flood-prone areas have already started collecting water, and on the roads, parts of the roads are underwater. There's a lot of runoffs as well, bringing with them debris on the road. So if you're driving out there tonight, please be careful on the road. And to answer your question, Edwin, what can Vanuatu expect? To make it short, rain, rain and more rain. As you've heard earlier that TC Yasa will be following the path of TC Herald. Now those of you in Vanuatu will know that there was minimal impact to the Northern Division by TC Herald. So it will be the same here later this week. There will be intensive rainfall, so there will be flooding. So those of you in the low-lying areas, the flood-prone areas or the red zone areas, please move to higher grounds, move your animals and your livestock as well. Just ensure that your property is secure. And as we head into the school break, there will be a lot of children at home. Parents, please keep an eye out for your children, and just ensure that you monitor their whereabouts to ensure their safety. Edwin.
Thank you very much, Eleanor. Meanwhile, a second weaker tropical cyclone has formed in the region. What was earlier TD03F has been named TC Zazu by the Nandi Weather Office this afternoon. The system is a weak Category 1 at the moment and poses no direct threat to Fiji.
So it's moving from New Way, taking a southwest track. Once it lies over the Tonga, southern Tonga, it will turn and move southeastwards, away from the Fiji groups.
And we now join Venina Rakautonga live on preparations in Viti Levu. Nina, what are the advisories from government agencies?
Well, Edwin, earlier this afternoon, the Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji has put out a warning to ship owners, ship operators, ship agents, not forgetting mariners and yacht clubs, to avoid non-essential travel until it is completely safe to do so. Now, ship owners are also being advised to liaise with their ship masters, exercise good judgment so that their ships are safe during the passing of the cyclone. On the same note, Edwin, people in vulnerable areas need to start preparing now, take all precautionary measures, and the National Disaster Management Office has also issued this same warning. Ensure that your families are aware of the nearest evacuation centers in case the need to evacuate arises. Edwin.
Thank you very much, Kelly. On to other news. The Agriculture Ministry, through the Agro Marketing Authority, is injecting $350,000 every month into the rural and maritime communities for the purchase of fresh produce. Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says this is an increase of 88% compared to the same period last year. Kelly Vadala reports the ministry has noted a substantial increase of AMA activity in recent months.
The Agriculture Ministry is working closely with AMA and exporters to improve the livelihood of farmers in rural areas.
But exporters are a bit reluctant to go in the interior rural because there is quite a bit of cost involved in. So Agro Marketing Authority, given that government is funding it, but we are also very excited that we are opening up new markets, and here we are getting the supply, sourcing the supply from the rural and maritime farmers.
Dr. Mahendra Reddy says they also monitor the pricing of produce to ensure farmers get the price they deserve.
They are not under different impression that what would be the price, etc., which used to be a problem, and that's why they got discouraged. So they are very excited, and at the same time we are very excited that we are contributing to the improvement of their livelihood, their income, their employment opportunities.
To date, 627 farmers have signed up with the Fiji Agro Marketing Authority since its launch in May.
We are taking one step at a time. So at present we are more focused on increasing production of the target products. Our sales have also increased. We are now exporting about 9 to 10 containers every month, which is a big increase for us.
The Agriculture Ministry plans to expand its reach in coming months to assist those farmers who plan to go commercial. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Up ahead, early Christmas celebration for Golden Age Home. And commercial Kava nursery established.
मैं टोटली दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Welcome back. Minister for Economy Aya Syed Kayum has reminded staff of the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service that they need to maintain a high level of efficiency. While opening the new Nandi branch at the Votualevu roundabout, Syed Kayum said this was the whole reason for the change in name of the business, as they don't want it to be an authority but rather a service provider. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The Minister for Economy stresses that the FRCS will always be judged on how well it delivers its service.
And all taxpayers of Fiji are actually the clients of FRCS, not somebody they should talk down to or bully, but actually see them as in a collaborative partnership.
Said Kayum also toured the new FRCS office and met a number of staff who also explained a bit about the work they did.
If we don't lift up the game, if we don't lift up our efficiencies, selecting people on merit, all those fundamentals are critically important, so we can actually revive our economy, bring back the confidence.
The new office will house the Nandi staff and also some staff from the Lautoka office. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Director of Social Welfare today acknowledged aged care workers for ensuring the well-being of 53 senior citizens at the Golden Age Home in Samambula. The residence was accorded an early Christmas party by the Social Welfare Department in collaboration with donors. Apanisa Wangairandovu reports it was all smiles as staff and residents danced away to entertainment from the Republic of the Fiji Military Forces Band.
The Director of Social Welfare admitted working in a care institution is not always easy, However, he is very pleased with reports coming in from the country's largest care home.
And I know there is a team that is working together in unity to make sure that not only that you are happy, not only that your needs are met, but also in the same way that you make it easy for the staff as they continue to carry out their responsibilities.
Fatiaki says it has not always been about the money for these staff.
And I believe some of you have experienced that a lot of people that you serve, residents that you serve, would have come to you and say, thank you very much for doing this for me.
Senior Welfare Officer Nilam Kumar says serving this elderly has been a privilege.
We are so glad to look after them because these are the older persons who are neglected from their own homes, and I just want to inform the community to look after your older persons when they are old. Do not neglect them or abandon them when they are old, because we will also be once old like them.
There are 30 staff at the Golden Age home, and Fatiaki confirms that many at times do overtime, putting aside their personal commitments. Apeniso Ngardobu, FBC News.
A commercial nursery has been developed by key players of Fiji Kava, aimed at improving the quality of harvested kava for processing and for the export market. Farmer Plus National Export Market Systems Facilitator Navitalain Tuivuniwai says the plantlings that go out of the nursery are disease and pest-free. Kritika Kumar reports.
The commercial kava nursery will ensure that the yangona planted by farmers meets the export quality requirements.
So when they do plant it, it gives assurance to the processors that this is the type of quality that the market requires. This is the type of the volume in terms of the general farming practices that needs to be followed.
Tuivuniwai says they are also working to improve the standard of Fiji kava.
Fiji being one of the first few countries in one of the first countries in the region to document the different varieties, so it's important to also highlight that whatever kava is being produced in Fiji are actually noble variety.
The Fiji Kava Task Force Chair says there are approximately 30 varieties of kava planted in Fiji, and the Fiji Kava Task Force is working on developing a manual for the farmers.
To help farmers understand the kind of varieties they're planting. We have similar varieties in different provinces.
Meanwhile, despite the global pandemic, kava export remains a top commodity, earning $32.5 million in exports, most of which are going to the US market. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Vodafone Fiji is ready to once again launch its Christmas in the Park celebration to kickstart the festive season in Suva. Vodafone Fiji Chief Executive Ronald Prasad says families can look forward to the lighting of the biggest Christmas tree in the country at My Suva Park tomorrow evening. Prasad says a few groups will also be taking part in the event.
What we want to do is invite all Fijians that are living close by to come out to My Suva Park. And the whole idea is for them to come and partake in an evening of bliss, to witness the lighting of the biggest Christmas tree. So we will have a live band, and there will be a number of groups who will be singing the Christmas carols here.
And now let's catch up with business. Apanisa has the latest tonight.
Thanks, Edwin. Coming up, Christmas in the city begins on Friday, and Tonganivalu hopes to change interior designing landscape. Stay with us.
Pula natang ko apros lang kerse, ko erkraki, do televisi na barong na Radio Fiji 1, nato mibit.
Radio Fiji 1.
The Suva retailers are continuing with their preparations with 3 more days to go for the Christmas in the City event. Suva City Council Chair Isikeli Tigundondua says the event is organized by the Council and the Suva Retailers Association aimed at creating economic activity in the city. Saniana Boila reports the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation will also be part of the week-long event.
Christmas in the city will provide entertainment, food stalls and affordable and quality goods to help Fijians during these tough times.
Thought that if we work together to ensure that we have affordable goods available in the market, this is a good time for us to not only share about the Christmas message, but most importantly to provide affordable items that are essential to the general public.
Tikondondo says they're working with police to ensure the safety of consumers and retailers. Suva Retailers Association President Jitesh Patel says with the effects of COVID-19 still being felt by many, they have worked out best deals for consumers.
The government has done its part. They've kept COVID at bay. They've done reduction in tariffs and everything. Nice for us businesses to play our part, where we have to reduce as per the tariffs have gone down. We have to give the right prices to our clients.
Fijian Broadcasting Corporation sales representative Umaid Akhtar adds that giveaways and more entertainment will be part of the event.
Christmas is a time when you want to be with your family and you want to be with your loved ones, and that's what we would like to replicate as well through our reach. We are again very grateful for this opportunity to use our platforms to promote the message of Christmas and get Suva rocking this Christmas period.
The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission will also be part of the week-long event to ensure that Fijians are served with the best. The Christmas in the city will begin this Friday. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Despite struggling to keep their business afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic, Bakewell Cakes has not let go of any of its employees. The company employs 15 Fijians and offers a wide range of pastries. Managing Director Rohit Deo says they retain their staff during these challenging times to ensure his employees are able to provide for their families. He says the pandemic has taught them to ramp up their production in order to stay afloat.
We are trying to work on customers' expectation and demand, and we were success this year that we had gone to another level in the quality.
Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Hello there. A quick update on last week's trading on the South Pacific Stock Exchange. Close to 62,000 shares valued at $167,000 were traded in over 50 transactions. 8 listed stocks recorded market activity, of which 6 saw price changes, mainly negative. The SPX market value for last week fell by 1.83% and concluded at $3.23 billion. Globally, stock indexes eased in favor of the US dollar amid continued concern over the timing of more US economic stimulus. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.16%, whereas the S&P 500 lost 0.13% and the Nasdaq Composite dropped 0.23%. The week ahead is likely going to be a busy one for traders, with central bank meetings in the US, Japan and the UK. Perhaps the most important one is the US Federal Reserve meeting, as they meet for the first time since the US presidential elections. And HFC Bank will keep you updated as it happens. Vinaka.
Here are the local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar was pegged higher against the Chinese yuan and the US greenback, as well as the Kiwi dollar and the euro. It lost some ground versus the Aussie dollar, the PNG kina and the Japanese yen. Commodity prices were falling today. Oil dipped slightly to remain about $46 a barrel. Gold was down $8 at $1,836 per ounce, and silver closed down at $23.91 an ounce. A newcomer to the interior designing, Sarah Tonganivalu is hoping to change the local landscape and the art industry. 8 months into her newfound passion, Tonganivalu hopes her business will flourish despite the pandemic. Venina Rakotonga reports Tonganivalu is part of the first ever Lomoni Valley Showcase, an art exhibition that features interior design and decor.
An architect by profession, Tonganivalu decided that COVID-19 would not get in the way of her dreams, and so far it's been going well.
So people are really happy and they put their trust in me to do what I can to help them find things locally, and that's been really great because that's my entire focus. It's just using what we have and not necessarily spending so much money, but just working with what we can get.
Tonganivalu hopes to collaborate with more women at the handicraft exhibition to also boost their business.
Well, I hope that I can work with the ladies at their markets directly, so that if people want interior design ideas, we can go to them directly and they have more of a hands-on approach.
Co-organizer of the exhibition, Alice Hill, says they've had an incredible response from the public.
And not only, with the numbers, because we've had an incredible amount of people through, but the fact that people have been coming back. So they come 2 or 3 or 4 times just to have a look and find new things every time.
The art exhibition ends tomorrow. Venina Rakotonga, FBC News.
And that's all from Business Tonight. Jamie joins us next with the latest from sports.
Vinakapanisa and good evening. In Sports Tonight, new local 7 series next season. And Vai Tamana eyes a Touch Rugby World Cup. Details after the break.
कुमार साहब नायक है गोमगो लेबू लटोका रेडियो फिजी 2 में
The Fiji Rugby Union will host its own 4-tournament 7 series next year. Similar to the World 7 Series, the FRU men's and women's competition will consist of the best local teams vying for points at every tournament for top honours at the end of the competition. The first tournament has already been scheduled for next month. Aquila Dama with the details.
The FRU Super Series will have the best 16 teams in the country vying for the top sport.
Replicate the HSBC Sevens tournament, the rules and regulations of the tournament and so forth, and run a 2-day tournament both for men and women to give our players the opportunity to play in such an environment. We expect another 3 Sevens tournaments.
The COVID-19 pandemic has restricted traveling, and with the World Series in doubt, having a local series is timely.
The bit that I need to get right on top of that is potentially looking at how I can take some of those best players and get them regularly playing against each other in a series of tournaments where you can, like the HSBC, you can get to know some of those players, you can see them regularly on TV and get them competing as their club teams on a regular basis.
Baber says this new initiative will surely help him and the team.
One of the biggest things, as they say, when you make a plan is having some sort of control over that. At present, as far as international sport is concerned, I don't have much control. The bit that I do have some sort of control over, and certainly the FRU and what we have is utilising, as I've said in the press release, our crown jewels, which is Sevens Rugby in Fiji, which is...
Since there is no Coral Coast Sevens next year, the first Super Series tournament will be held on the 22nd and 23rd of January at Lawanga Park in Singatoka. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
The Lomai VT Juniors rugby side is using the Junior Escort Shield competition as a platform for its players to showcase their talent. The COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of many school sporting events, including the Dean's competition, where the best of secondary schools rugby was always on display. Lomai VT Juniors admin Matandingo Koroi says the Junior Escort Shield comes at the right time as it engages students during the Christmas holiday period.
Well, the aim of the competition was just to provide exposure for the boys. Due to COVID-19 and the cancelling of the Dean's competition, most of the boys were not able to expose their talent. So we are very thankful for the Suva Rugby Union and the FRU for setting up the Junior Escort Shield competition just to provide a platform where they can showcase their talent.
National Rep Andiwati Vai Tamana is hoping to reach another milestone in her career by representing Fiji at the 2023 Touch Rugby World Cup. The National Rep has been playing touch rugby for 18 years and represented the national women's team in the 2019 Pacific Games, where they finished third. Tali Materukula with the story.
Currently playing for the Nambua-based Eastern Hawks team, Vavai Tamana hopes to impress national selectors.
I've achieved going to the SPG, the World Cup last year. Now I'm looking forward again to the competition again. The main aim is to present touch rugby further internationally, especially the World Cup in 3 years' time and SPG.
But this season alone won't be enough to prove her worth.
More competition time in the year, because for this year we've just got only 1 season. So from playing this, we want more seasons, more teams to come in the thing, spread the touch rugby world Fiji-wide.
Finishing the Suva Touch Rugby season in the final, the competition was an opener for the Baby Hawks.
Mainly to get the youths involved in sport. It was more of a learning or more of an experience for most of these young kids who are new to the sport.
The Eastern Hawks women's team reached the final while their mixed team bowed out of the semi-finals. Talima Terkula, FBC Sports.
Miss Fiji winner Elizabeth Maki is urging women to take up the sport of bodybuilding. She scooped her third Miss Fiji title on Saturday and was the lone contender in the women's category. Saddened by the low turnout of women in the competition, Maki says it's time for females to break away from the norm and try something amazing.
Bodybuilding is more than just a sport, it's a lifestyle. It's about being fit and healthy. It's about understanding food and being healthy with your, the nutrition side of things. And I would encourage women to try it. You know, it's training with weights and all these other things. It's not too hard. It's not going to make you look like a man. So it's amazing.
A football academy director in the country believes basic technique is lacking in many players locally. Former Fiji FA Development Officer Ronald Ram, who is now the director of Dreams Football Academy, says this is an area he focuses on his football clinics. Over the past year, Ram has been actively holding kids' clinics where he teaches participants the basics of the sport.
The major thing they lack is the soccer techniques are not there at the moment. If we start building in more on techniques like passing, receiving, running with the ball, and making decisions in the tight space, and then have a game format, and then train them accordingly unto their knowledge, I think that will be a good caliber for them.
Now to play of the day, and fans at the 11th Combat Ulinakau Sevens were treated to some world-class action over the weekend when the Fiji Barbers White played Fiji Barbers Blue in the final. Despite finishing runners-up, Fiji Blue scored one of the best team tries of the final after some relentless attacking.
Tidy that up. Very good work by Fiji White, and then ball comes loose, picked up by Sandrungu. More than Adangi gives it away. Taken up well by Fiji Blue. Staniela Sandrungu. Sandrungu sends it back. Sevaloni Modenadangi. Modenadangi gets it away to Velikesa Ndriu. Ndriu sets it up. Modenadangi clears. Fiji Blue holding possession. Kamanieli Rasaku. Ikanikonda goes in. Modenadangi picks it up. Spots the gap and feeds the pass. Wonderful work. And Levi Ikanikonda gets in the corner.
That's it from Sports Tonight in New Media. After the break, Disney is increasing its streaming services with more new shows. This and more coming up.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
And let's catch up with today's weather with Kritika.
It was a fine day across most of Fiji with generally clear skies and sunshine along with high temperatures around 30s. The west had sunshine, heat and a dry day. Eastwards from Kava to Suva after early morning rain, another fine sunny weather. And up north, you guessed it, another great day. At sea, easterly winds 10 to 20 knots and moderate seas. The next low tide is at 1:33 a.m. followed by high tide at 7:37 a.m. Sunrise at 5:24 a.m. Tomorrow we could see increased cloudiness and a chance of showers, perhaps thunderstorms in the east. Temperatures will remain around the low 30s. Looking ahead is another story. As you heard during the news, Cyclone Yasa is off to the east and building. The Fiji Met says it could come this way later in the week, but the storm is expected to remain stationary for the next day or so. After that, we'll know if it's going to be a problem or just go away somewhere else. That's the weather for now. Have a great evening, and it's back to Edwin.
Thank you, Kritika. In Fijian Pulse, we ask, will you change your Christmas plans if TC Yasa hits Fiji?
For me, if the cyclone hits, I will just stay home and celebrate Christmas. I think if the cyclone hits, we should focus on preparing for the cyclone. What will be the use of celebrating Christmas if the cyclone will destroy everything?
Christmas plans will remain the same. We will still celebrate. This is the month for Christmas.
We will celebrate Christmas the same as we always do every year.
And recapping our main stories this evening, TC Yasa intensifies into a Category 2 system. Fijians warned of destructive winds by Friday. And second system, TC Zazu, poses no threat to Fiji. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, last week we asked, do you think that is actually this week's question that we are asking. Do you think social media users should be held accountable for their contents they post on social media? You can visit our FBC News website to answer. And very quickly, just results from our last week's poll question. We had asked, do you think Sitiveni Rambuka will form a new party for the next general election? And even before the poll was over, he announced earlier in the week that he will indeed be forming a new party. 70% of our respondents answered yes, he will be forming a new party. And to our shot of the day, here's a beautiful shot of the sun at dusk going down the horizon. A reminder for us to be thankful each and every day. This picture was sent in by Joe Morel. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and we're on Instagram as well. That was your news for this evening. Until tomorrow, Modemanda.
कुमार साहब ने नायक है गोंगवा लेबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।